All right, this next question focuses on the economy, and this comes from Denver 7 anchors Nicole Brady and Brian Sanders.
Brian and I have both reported on efforts to restore Denver's business districts, including Lodo, Cherry Creek, and downtown.
We've heard from the community concerned about crime, safety, also how the move to remote and hybrid work is decreasing foot traffic in business.
So our question to the candidates, what 3 specific ideas do you have to help revive Denver's business districts?
And Mike, we'll let you start.
I do think you mentioned some of the most important parts of reviving business, which is when I talk to business leaders today, particularly about downtown, they'll say, and my employees felt the same way, they're worried about their safety in downtown. So for me, that's a start of making sure we put more first responders onto the street. I've come out to say we should put 200 more first responders. That means, yes, officers that are out walking beats and being visible in neighborhoods to talk to business leaders and residents. It means mental health and paramedics when we need those. I think that's an important step. The second is getting folks who are unhoused access to housing and services and stability. That's really important. But the third is encouraging people to come back downtown, particularly to work. That means doing things like I've proposed partnering with business to make commuting to and from downtown free for commuters on public transit, light rail and bus lines, free for college kids or students, supportive of seniors. So it's easier to get to and from downtown. You can have childcare facilities now downtown, and you have a safer, more stable downtown. Those things will make the biggest difference in getting a downtown that's going to be vibrant again.
Kelly?
I've committed to end unsanctioned camping my first year. And this is just so important that people have a safer place to be, housing and shelter that they can be at. I think that will help our downtown tremendously. But I also believe we have to start to focus on increasing residential downtown, where we get people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And today we are losing office buildings, and other cities have found transitioning some of those office buildings to residential really helps restore the vibrancy of your downtown. I also believe we have to focus on the completion of the mall. There's no question that construction is impacting your experience downtown and feelings of isolation. So I'd really focus to make sure we stay on time and maybe earlier so we can complete that construction and start to rebuild and create the events that invite people to be part of our downtown again.
Thank you both. Joe has our next question.
Mayor Hancock has said remote work has promoted employment and retention in the city, but he's enacted a policy that requires many city employees to be at their desks at least 3 days a week. Do you feel that city employees should be part of the solution to promote economic activity downtown?
And Kelly, you're first.
Thanks. I think when I think about the responsibility of the mayor in terms of the workforce, it's about how can we best deliver customer service, deliver results. And so I will really focus on every single decision being about supporting our customers, and that looks different. We have a number of city employees who come in every single day. They didn't get a break during the pandemic. We have others who maybe have flexibility. There's no question that employees are downtown, probably about the same amount that our private sector employees are downtown today. I think we could look at how could we increase the times, the work locations even if it's not in the office. And I think this has to be true for our private sector and public sector, because the public sector alone is not going to be able to revitalize our downtown. But I think together with strategies that bring workers here for funner activities, things we do before and after work, I think could also help revitalize it.
Thank you. Mike?
Yes, I do believe we want to encourage more workers to come to work downtown. That means private sector businesses, that means our own workers. And I'll tell you, this is not just it'd be nice to have more people in downtown. This is a fundamental equity issue for the city. If you are someone who works as a server at a restaurant and you don't have a lunch shift anymore, that's a huge impact on your income every month. If you're someone who works at a retail shop downtown and you don't have an 8 to 4 shift anymore during the day, that's a huge impact on your family's income. And we know a lot of those jobs that don't have the privilege of being able to be remote are relying on a lot of us to be able to be back in person to not just revive the vibrance of downtown, but to make sure those people whose jobs depend on us have the ability to get that access to services. So I see our city employees, certainly the folks that I appoint and the city employees we work with, as part of that call to service. Our fundamental mission is to help revive this city, and part of that work for us is to make sure we revive downtown. Of course, there's still ways to have flexibility and figure out what people need department by department, but we will push to try to make sure all of the city's employees can come and help us revive downtown, and we'll be part of that.